Let's look at how the habitual past is used. Quick review. The habitual past is formed with used to plus the base verb. This grammar structure is used to talk about past habits, events that were repeated, or situations but are no longer true in the present. Past habits, for example, used to ride, but now that's no longer true. When my father was a teenager, he used to ride a camel. He's no longer a teenager and he no longer rides a camel. So we use the habitual past. Past situations, used to live, but that is no longer true. We used to live in Dubai, but now we live in the United States. Speakers and writers will use the habitual past in order to contrast the past and the present. We use time expressions such as now or no longer or not anymore. He used to ride his camel every day, but now he drives a car. They used to shop at an outdoor market, but they don't shop there anymore. We have to be careful. Use the simple past for a one-time activity. He drove to the mall yesterday, not he used to drive to the mall yesterday. And use the simple past in a time clause with when. When I lived in Dubai, I used to ride, not when I used to live in Dubai, I used to ride a camel. There is some disagreement about how to use used to in the negative and in question forms. Some people, including some English teachers, think that in American English we don't use didn't used to. Only he didn't used to. This is a section that you might want to pause and think about for yourself. Generally speaking, in my classes, I tell my students in English, we have one past tense marker, that is did. In my opinion, here's the past tense marker, so we don't use a past tense marker here. To have two past tense markers seems unnecessary. In my opinion, I would not teach this one or this one. The problem comes because of pronunciation. When I say he didn't used to or he didn't used to in normal speech, they sound the same. He didn't used to live there, he didn't used to live there. And the pronunciation is very similar. So, again, in conversation, used to and used to sound the same. Used. Did you used to have long hair? Did you used to have long hair? They sound the same, but in writing, we only need to use one past tense marker. It is very common to use would after we introduce the habitual past with used to. Would is a modal verb, and always in English, after a modal verb, we use the base form of the verb. So, when I was a teenager, I would go to the mall every Saturday afternoon. But again, be careful. Don't use would for past situations. Say, I used to live in Dubai, not I would live in Dubai. This again is most common when we tell stories about the past. We'll begin with used to and continue with would. For example, when I was a kid, I used to ride my bike everywhere. I would ride my bike to school and I would take it to the park on the weekends. Also be careful, when we use would, it must already be clear that we are talking about the past. Don't begin a story with would. Say, I hear you got a new bike. I used to ride my bike everywhere. Not, I hear you got a new bike. I would ride my bike everywhere. That has a different meaning because of the modal verb. If you need to review this video and pause to read the examples in more detail, please do that now.